replace this block, replace this block. The trolling begins. After a very hectic and jam-packed episode 1, welcome back to Cohesioncraft. Today we're mainly going to be doing some resource gathering, some base work, and just getting ourselves ready to shift to getting a lot more items and moving to our main base. First of all, let me show you what I've done with our starter base. So, as last time, there was the time lapse of me making the base. What I didn't show is my small farm here. So I'm growing wheat and carrots behind there, and pigs and cows over here. There is a small gate which leads to our wheat and our carrots. This ladder and door which leads to the actual house. And going back down, close the door, going through here, is the starter base at the beginning of the episode with my small sheep farm, all getting pink wool ready to get some netherite. Over here, my bone meal maker, so I put pink petals or seeds down here, and then it turns it into the composter into bone meal. Over here I have warped nylium, and going out of this door we end up on the back where I have a manual sugarcane farm, some warped nylium to grow some nether warped trees, bunch of beehives to harvest from, a lot of bamboo, an acacia sapling so I can keep harvesting acacia wood, and then be back on the base. As you can see, I've got a lot of these new big pots and small plant pots, so I can put in a bunch of new flowers, ferns, bamboo, saplings and fungi. Now if we go into the base, I've got a shop section here. So 1 diamond for 2 stacks of logs. I'm selling cherry logs, dark oak logs and jungle logs. And over here I'm selling warped logs for extremely high prices, mainly because it's the early part of the series. 32 warp stem for 1 diamond. Quite expensive, but it's early series, early season, whatever you want to call it, and I have to make prices high. Although I do think 1 diamond for 2 stacks is quite good, but later on if I make no sales at all and the other people join on, then I'm probably going to make it 4 stacks for a diamond. Now going inside the base, I've got these 2 trapdoors so most mobs can't get in. I have my nether portal, so my flint and steel, turn it on, water bucket, turn it off. Got my campfires for kelp for my fuel source. Alternatively, I can use bamboo as my fuel source, which is why I have bamboo over there, but also for scaffolding. Over here I've got a bunch of warp stuff. I had some blackstone in there, but I've started moving it out to where we're going to have our main base later down the line. Most of my chests are like colour coordinated, nothing too much. I have my main chest over here, my valuables, so pottery shards, my diamonds, my diamond helmet, my first diamond pickaxe, which I want to keep, my iron, gold, and my first netherite ingot. Now one of the main things about this update is that we need some sort of template to upgrade diamond armor to netherite. Now over here we have the enchanting table, and I've added in some bookshelves along with trying to oxidize some copper. Now over here you can see some sort of heads. So recently I installed more mob heads, and it comes with, for some reason, Hermitcraft heads. So we have Mumbo Jumbo and Zazuma. We go up from the ladder at the back. We end up at the zombie head, the drowned head, Mumbo, Zazuma, a horse, dark oak planks, cherry leaves, that's it, blackstone, smithing table, dropper, and a villager trader head. Villager trader, a wandering trader's head. So yes, I installed this, and now wandering traders have custom trades to sell heads, which is how I bought this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So I got all of these from the wandering trader, then killed it and took a set. Now the drop rate is extremely low. I have no idea why. I'm gonna see if I can increase the drop rate. If I can't, well, we're still gonna have to make do with it. I do still quite like these, and I cannot wait to use them in future builds. Now to my creative testing world. On my Cohesioncraft testing world. Now as you can see, I've started to build up my blackstone fortress. Mostly made of polished black stone, sea lanterns and crimson blocks. And then I've got loads of mob heads. I've just put in the standard ones because on the unmodded creative testing world, obviously I don't have access to all the mob heads we do on the actual world. Over here I've got mini biomes, little moss area, little crimson area, little beach area with a pillager tower, little campsite and a camel called Callum. Over here I want to make a big warped tree, and we're going to keep continuing that on all the smaller spaces in between the actual roadworks. The size of the bridge is literally just stairs and trapdoors, but I think it works really well, and I was originally going to make the walls a lot higher and not use crimson, but I think crimson works really well with the blackstone theme. And as you can see over here, I have these two massive towers. These are my Doomspire towers. I've just been making them because I think they look really cool, and they'll sell the fortress theme really well. So I've got this one, which is like a cauldron where I'm going to do all my brewing and have all my super smelters. And over here is just a random tower that you can use for whatever, maybe storage, crafting, whatever we need to use it for, we'll use this one for. I then want to bridge over and make another one over here and make this the central one, which will be really tall, and this is going to act as the back section of the fortress. And then over here I'm going to close this off with a massive wall or some sort of protection, and then I'm going to make a massive mine over here. Over here I have the sea lion. This is the first ship I designed. Now I didn't build the Blackstone fortress till afterwards I started planning out this, but I realised I don't particularly like this design. It looks good, but it's not something I want to keep continuing on throughout the series. I have no idea why there's water pouring out of this, but we're just going to block that there. Now I made this sort of like a big raft sort of thing, sort of like a rig. I thought, yeah, this would be kind of cool, but at the same time I don't particularly like it. Then I came up with the Blackstone Fortress idea, and I really want to make a massive fleet of these ships. So the Sea Lion, which is this ship, is going to be the first ship that we build. And what I'm thinking of doing, we build a massive fleet of ships, where the Sea Lion is the first one to come out of this side and just stand guard. Then moving around here, I have this bit which is going to be a spaceport, so I'm going to build maybe a TIE fighter and X-Wing. And then over here, I'm going to clear out this land and this area, make it a lot deeper, and then we're going to put in another ship over here. The reason I'll be collecting a lot of wood is for these ships, because all these ships are made from stripped logs. Now going back over here, you can see there's still some trees. This entire island is filled up with spruce trees. So one of the main things we're going to have to do between now and starting the fortress is basically deforestation and destroy every single tree. Meaning we'll have a lot of spruce wood, meaning we can make at least 1 or 2 spruce ships. So let's get back to the server and see what we're going to be doing today. Right now we're currently at the island where our fortress is going to be. Behind me I have 2 chests with some of the resources we need for this build. So we have just over a chest full of blackstone and a bunch of other stuff for the Doomspire towers. One problem we don't have a nether portal connecting to here, so that's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to go and try and get some obsidian and then set up a portal. So I'll see you then. I want to officially introduce you guys to the newly built beginnings of Blackstone Fortress. So as you can see from the time lapse and stuff, I've been building up the fortress, getting mob heads which still haven't loaded in. So let's take a look at the mob heads I've actually got. So first off, I've got player heads like Mumbo, Exuma, Tango, Gemini Tay, Data Logger, Cub Fan, Skizzleman, and whoever on earth this person is. Then move on to the heads that mostly I've traded for. So Cherry Blossom, Blackstone, Dark Oak Plank, Dispenser, Smithing Table, Oxidized Cut Copper, Dried Kelp, Chisel, Nether Brick, Pink Concrete, Cobblestone, and Birch Logs. As you saw on the clip before, there were trades for 2 other concretes, but I spent a lot of my emeralds on dripstone, mainly because no one else actually has dripstone right now. Other than that, I've got 3 Wandering Trader Villager heads, a Trading Llama head, Donkey or Horse, Zombie, Water Zombie, Drowned, that's what it's called, a Fox, which is so cute, but I really want this on my wall, make it look like a hunter, and a bunch of salmon and cod heads. Right, so a couple of things have happened. I died in my normal account, so I lost all my stuff. Don't worry, I got iron armor back. Actually, you know what? You know what I can do? Actually, no, that's fine. I'll read it set. Okay, so a couple of things have happened between the last clip and this clip. So on my normal account, I died. I got my iron gear back, but I lost my diamond pickaxe and diamond helmet. But I now have a diamond sword and 3 diamonds in a chest for whatever I need to use it for. And I've started to expand the fortress. I haven't got enough parts for the leg or support over here, but I've started to expand outwards and backwards. And I'm also changing the way I put the heads and stuff. So I've decided to use the heads and things to like color code a storage system. Although I originally wanted to make like a redstone auto sorter, I decided I would rather do it myself because auto sorters aren't too useful for me. So I've got green over here, pink over here, orange over here, black over here, light blue and aqua over here, red over here, and I'm planning to have a dark blue over here. Now I decided from this section here that it was a bit plain and a bit boring to just go straight up and up and up. So I decided to add the section on this side here and the section on this side here. Now this will be the end point on this side. However, on this side I'm adding in mini starships and things with a small platform. Despite me originally planning to have a massive platform over there, I think a nice smaller platform will fit in with the design a lot better. I've cleared out a bunch more trees and we can now expand further and further back. I'm thinking once we get enough blackstone to finish all the supports and pillars and we finish all the platforms across this area, we can then move backwards and start doing the towers. But I'm not sure whether we're actually going to do the towers this episode or next episode, purely because I'm thinking we're making a lot of progress today with our fortress, and even just completing this area would be massive for us. Obviously we're on episode 2, so our progress isn't going to be too much, but this march doing just about half the island so far is actually pretty decent progress. And having about 6 color-coded item storage systems by the end of this episode, that'll be really, really good. And you can just see from this top view the scale of the island and the scale of our base so far. I'm genuinely very, very happy with our progress, and I do actually have more to show you. So I died, obviously, but I died caving. Now, at 8.5 Eternal, so maybe we want to call it, it lags a lot sometimes. That's how Ozzy lost his stuff originally. And I've gone through this massive, massive cave system just exploring. And it's actually pretty big, and there's a lot of resources that we can get from here. So there's gold and redstone just over here. There's another amethyst geode. There's loads and loads of stuff over here. And eventually I just want to take every single resource I can get from here. The second we get a beacon, I can farm granite, andesite, diorite, moss, calcite, amethyst blocks. I really want to get as many resources as I can. because I actually want to terraform the island which our base sits on. Back on the top side, we can see that our base sits on podzol, dirt, some sand, some mossy cobble. It's a bit of a mess, and I feel like once we get the entire base down, we get all the pillars in place, we can start to terraform the landscape underneath, so all of this will be dirt and stone and moss, and just try and make the place look a lot better. On the underneath the base, I've added these small mini biomes. Now I've only built one so far. This one sits directly underneath our green storage. So as you can see, it's just moss, spores, all of this stuff, bit of bamboo, bit of grass, and a fox head. So I want to make multiple of these, but all underneath their color coordination. So under this blue, I've just got the wall blocks here. I'm going to make a mini warped warp forest or some sort of warped area here. For the red one, I want to have maybe a bit of the nether wastes, or possibly even a crimson forest. Over in the pink one, maybe something like cherry blossoms. But the actual cherry logs, I'm going to keep that in a purple section. Same thing with the warped logs. Because of the actual colour tones, I feel like they belong in their own separate section, even though they have hints of blue or pink in them. Same over here, we have acacia. Now the acacia log is actually grey, so the normal acacia log will be in the grey section, but the strip logs will be in this section over here. And I'm just going to keep implementing that, so everything will be colour sorted. So like strip bamboo, that'll be in the yellow section, and we're going to keep splitting everything apart just to make life easier, so I know, okay, what's what colour, what block is what colour, where's that going to be, and I can just find that immediately. And we're using these mini blocks as indicators for, okay, so there's copper in this one, which is oxidized cut copper heads, or the oxidized copper, right? So over in this one, when I end up having spare blackstone, we have blackstone up in here. When we go down here, there'll be cherry leaves in the cherry leaf block over here. And we're gonna keep using the mob heads to identify what's in what chest or what's in what barrel. Obviously it's going to take a while to get every single mob head, but overall I think it'll be amazing. I also got some trimmed blue and gold armor over here because, well, I don't want to use armor trims to have netherite and gold, but I think this is quite nice. Another armor stand for whatever we put there. I've also used deep slate and mud to texturize the build, just so it's not all one solid colour and there's a bit of variation and a bit of interest to the eye. Over here you got all of these in item frames. I don't know why it's not working. I don't think it works on Bedrock, but I actually have these as invisible item frames. I don't know why they're now visible. It might just be a Bedrock thing, but it does look quite cool. Over in the bottom sections, I've also put in a bit of obsidian somewhere. Yeah, so I have obsidian here. So I've got a lot of lava. I don't know what to do with it. So I've just been putting obsidian in and trying to use it part of as a weathering thing. Same with the mud. I originally decided to put the mud close to the bottom, but I decided to just integrate all of it in the build and just see how it looks, and it looks quite nice. Now let's go on and expand the rest of the area and finish off this part of Blackstone Fortress. To bring today's episode to an end, let me introduce you to part 1 of Blackstone Fortress. As you can see, I've been hard at work collecting blackstone and crimson logs. I'm still not finished, but I'm just going to finish this off the episode between now and next episode. So this fortress took a lot, and I mean a lot, of time. not the statistic I'm looking for. Looking at my statistics, I've mined almost 6,000 blocks of blackstone. That's the raw blocks which I then turn into polished and blackstone bricks, which has gone into this fortress. This fortress, uncompleted, only first part of it, around 6,000 blocks of blackstone, different variants. Taking into account slabs as well, that number, at least another 1,000 onto that. This build is absolutely massive, and I don't mean that, oh yeah, it's massive for me. No, this is actually quite a big build. Obviously there are builds that are much bigger than this, but still, this is a pretty large scale for a build. And majority of this is just storage. I've just got a small storage area here with my essentials, campfires which I can light up whenever I need, my armor stand, and the sapling with the invisible item frames I was talking about earlier. Now I'm trying to use the player heads to signify things. I don't have that many player heads or more mob heads or whatever they are, mini blocks. So I've just been using item frames, and the actual blocks are in there. So I've got pink, green, light blue, and aqua. They're all going to be in the same category. Then we're going to have dark blue, yellow, red, purple, orange, white, and black. So getting the wool for this is also taking a while. I've got one singular module for sheep farm. I don't have that many resources. My iron arm was almost broken, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of mining or make an iron farm, which I do actually plan to do next episode or in episode 4. I also made a mini Mandalorian gauntlet fighter. I made this design a long time ago in a series that never actually came out. And I have put the wandering trader in here and one llama here. Once I get to kill another llama and gets head, I'll put it here, and these will act like little guns. Or if I can get blue mob heads or blue mini concrete blocks, then I'll use those for the guns. And the wandering trader pilot, just in an armor stand in the glass over here. Just thought it'd be nice to have pilots in the cockpits. Now I haven't actually finished doing this one. If we go into first person or third person, you can see I haven't even done the stand for this one, purely because it would take at least another 200, maybe even 300 blocks of blackstone just to be mined before I can do anything else. Now let's go and look at the small farms that I've built so far. The first one is my sheep farm or my wool farm. It doesn't produce much, and I take wool out of it very often to finish off the wool in all of these. I re-dye it, I break into this and re-dye it whenever I need to. I've then got bamboo over here, which I realised I made really low with the roof. I think I accidentally pushed this one too much, but the roof is a bit low. I'm going to make the roof higher and this bit a bit higher as well, just to make sure I can get more and more bamboo. But it hasn't been doing too bad. We have a black sheep over here that I just share whenever I can. I also added in a warped habitat over here. So we already have the moss one. So we now have a warped habitat right here. I don't have any mob heads, but for now this will be blocked off out of episode. I've been trying to preserve as many blocks and not put them back into this in the bottom section, because I want to try and finish off the top section. Looking off the ledge from here, we can see my nether portal, my warped vine things that I'm farming and then using shears to break down again, manual bamboo farm until I sort out a proper bamboo farm later down the line. I also have water source in there, a lava source with the dripstone in there, and in the very front one where our main stuff sits on top of is our wheat and melon farm. There isn't much stuff going on the inside of there, but it's still stuff, and it's helping to keep me alive. You can see some of it growing right over there. I also moved all my potted plants and stuff from my start base to over here. Eventually I'm going to get rid of the pots and use them for something else, maybe potentially a mini town that sits under the protection of the fortress or my ocean fleet. But that marks the end of today's episode. I hope you'll enjoy the massive progress that we've made today, and I'll see you next week where we'll hopefully be able to build more farms, more redstone stuff, and potentially bring in some more villagers. That's been episode 2 of Cohesioncraft, A Terrible Fortress. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.